So just tell me, first of all, what your name and where you're based.
So I'm Martin Skov from Bangor University in northwest Wales, which is a beautiful part of the country.
I'm Oceane Marcone. I'm a social science researcher. I'm based at Plymouth Marine Laboratory in the southwest of England.
I'm Hannah Robson. I'm the Wetland Science Manager at the Wildfowl and Wetlands Trust. So we're based at Slimbridge on the banks of the River Severn, so about halfway between Bangor and Plymouth.
The PhD project that you're supervising is titled Boosting Saltmarsh Management for Fisheries Species. And my first question is, could you tell me where the idea for this project came from?
When I was a kid, I used to walk out in mud flats and into salt marshes. And I remember the mud curling up between my toes. This is in Denmark, I'm Danish. And so I always really wanted to do work in salt marshes, and realized you see fish and shrimp in marshes a lot, but we have very little information on them. So I got some MSc students to do some first projects, and we caught loads of stuff that I just didn't expect. And in all textbooks, it says that marshes are so important for fish. And we have a lot of information from the States, but we have very little from Europe, which is just like crazy because we manage salt marshes for biodiversity and for fish. So, you know, why don't we have that data? We need it.
I think that's something that we are really interested in. Obviously, we're restoring some of these really important salt marsh habitats, and we there's a lot of information, or a growing amount of information out there about the carbon that they can store and some of the other ecosystem services, but the fish seem like a really missing piece in the puzzle. Like doesn't seem to be that much information out there that we can actually quantify the benefits of these habitats for those species, and that's really important for us, sort of working with practitioners, but then also trying to convince policymakers. That's the other side of what we do at WWT. We're talking to sort of policymakers, trying to get it elevated up there and sort of justify, sort of show how important and how amazing these habitats are. So that's sort of where we come in, I think.
In the UK, we've lost, yesterday I heard a new figure, 80% of all salt marshes we've lost historically. And so there's a lot of interest in restoring salt marshes for wildlife and for loads of other things, like even for human benefits. But it's quite costly to restore salt marsh, so you need good justification for doing it.
I really like doing this kind of bridges between scientific evidence, what people actually do, so how they interact with the environment, and trying to find solutions for that are policy oriented.
People should think about this as being really open to absolutely anybody. So I, as supervisor, I run an MSc course here, and I find sometimes the best MSc students we get are the ones that come from a really different background. And then they come in, and because they're driven people. As
long as you're keen on learning and very curious, like, I mean, that's the first main point.
Exactly. I think we want to have the student obviously settling in and getting to know the topic. I definitely would love for the students to go and spend time at the Wildfowl and Wetlands Trust and with the Oceane and Ben Chioti down in Plymouth, as well as here in Bangor, which we are hosting the students. So there will be a bit of mobility there, getting to know the ropes, testing out some of the methods, both some of the science methods, you know, the catching of the fish and the shrimp, etc., in the field, learning what environmental drivers explain variation in how many catches we get, but also very much talking to people and starting some of the social science. Coming out with the PhDs from the Summer Network is a real strength in terms of job application. You can go in very diverse directions. You could stay as an academic, or you can end up in the management or even the campaigning side of things.
Just having a skill in one area isn't really, we're not really able to support that because there's not enough money around. You know, everybody has to be able to do a bit of everything. So it's real strength if you can bring something and say, actually, yeah, I've got a bit of experience in that. I can work with so and so to do that. Oh, well, by the way, I've also caught some fish and can help you, you know, help you design that. Then that, you know, that would be from a conservation NGO's point of view, that would be a massive advantage to any candidates that would be applying for jobs with us.
Working in governmental agency or department administration would be also like really relevant because you'll be able to understand the natural science. So that would be also like an option.
Thanks ever so much. Now, I imagine that any applicant would probably want to chat to you or ask questions to, you seem very approachable people to me.
Yeah, write to me or call me, the details is in the application forms, I think, or in the on the website, isn't it? So yeah, absolutely. I'll be very happy to talk to people.
Put my Twitter handle on stuff. Feel free to contact me that way if that suits people better.
Yeah, same. I can be reached on Twitter, by email.
Thanks so much. Sounds a fantastic opportunity.